For today's class, if you want blocks, you may grab your blocks. If you don't feel like having any blocks, any props today, it's not a problem. It is gentle, so we won't need too many things today. But all on your breath and time, work your way into a comfortable seated position. Go ahead and wiggle your hips from the right side to the left side, and then just allow yourself to arriving not only in the four corners of your mat in this comfort zone, but within your four walls. Closing those eyes, take a full breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, sigh that breath out. You have two more just like that. Inhale through the low belly, up through the chest. And then exhale, release that breath from the chest down to the low abdomen. One more full belly breath in. And exhale to sigh that breath out. With your eyes closed, take your tongue, lick your lips, and then seal them to one another. Begin breathing in and out of your nose. As you begin breathing in and out of the nose, feel your shoulders relax away from your ears. Let your fingertips be very soft. Maybe allow the connection of your thumb and your index finger to come together, or the pad of your index finger and your thumb to come together. Begin that inhale and exhale through the nose. Constrict the back of the throat. And drag it across that constriction, creating that humming sound, or your oceanic breath. If at any point you want to blink your eyes open, blink your eyes open. If at any point you want to drop your chin to your chest and twirl your head right side to left side, or even a big giant circle, know that you can, as long as it feels comfortable within your body. Whatever you're doing, you're here for another 3 inhales and 3 exhales, all of your own length. Maybe even a cleansing breath if you decide that's the route you'd like to take. Finalizing that last breath in. You'll exhale, release that breath out. Bringing our hands into prayer and at our heart space. We'll let the thumb rest at our heart center, and we'll bow our chin towards our chest. Take a moment here for yourself to invite and encourage yourself for kindness, love, healing, any kind of nourishment for your mind, your body, and your spirit. Give yourself permission to let go of any to-do list, any thoughts, any items that no longer serve your higher purpose. And as you begin to breathe in fully through the nose and fully out of your nose, ask yourself where you'd like love, light, energy to flow towards or to. Retain it for yourself if you see fit for that. There's no reason on why you can't keep it for yourself. So if that's where your energy needs to guide itself to, let it be there. If you have a friend, a family member that you prefer to guide your energy towards or to, or send them some love, let that flow in that direction as well. Whatever you decide on that next breath in, draw it in fully. And as you exhale, let it go completely. As you inhale, neutralize your chin, and then inhale, circle sweep those arms up towards the sky. The palms will kiss, and exhale, the hands will come into prayer. 2 more times. Inhale, opening up our shoulder girdle, opening the palms, pressing them together. Let the hands release to our heart space. Last time. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, the palms together. On our next breath in, pull our shoulders up, and as we exhale, drop those shoulders back down. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up towards the sky, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, right fingertips down, left fingertips follow towards that right side of the room. If your left hip opened up, drop that left hip down. If it can't fall down, slide your right hand closer towards your body, or bend that elbow if you need a little bit more. Take a full breath in, feel that long extension of your fingertips towards this top right side of the room, and let that breath go. 1 more inhale here. letting that breath go. On our next breath in, go ahead and leave that right palm where it's at. Extend and lift your left arm up. Follow the gaze up towards the sky. Take a full breath in here, and as we exhale, we're going to slowly release and tap our left fingertips towards the right side. Inhale, we expand and lift up. Exhale, we release and tap down. Inhale, we extend and lift up. Exhale, we release and tap down. On our next breath in, we'll extend and reach up. And as we exhale, pull the head of your elbow towards your hip and open that chest up. And then inhale, extend the arm up. Exhale, releasing the left fingertips towards the right side. Inhale, slide your body towards the front, creating a rainbow as you find your way over towards that left side. Let the left palm rest there. Inhale, extend and reach the right arm up. As that right arm comes up, maybe slide your left hand a little closer towards your body and extend as you exhale towards that left edge of the room with your right fingers. Take a full breath in here. Look anywhere it feels good in your body. Let that breath go. Inhaling through the nose. Letting that breath go out of the nose. Shoulder relaxes. Last breath in. Let that breath go. On our next inhale, left palm stays as is. Inhale, extend and reach that right arm up. On our exhale, tap that right hand towards the left side. Inhale, you'll open up. Exhale, you'll tap it down. Inhale, you'll open up. And then last time, we'll exhale and tap down. And then inhale, we'll extend and reach up. On that exhale, the elbow head pulls towards this right hip. Reach to the crown of the head, and then inhale, the arm reaches back up. And as we exhale, we'll release the right fingertips down towards that left side. Inhale, swish the body around and over towards that right side. And then inhale, extend that right arm up. As your right arm goes up, left arm, press through that right arm. Inhale, the arms both go up. And then exhale, heads of the elbows pull down. Inhale, the arms reach up, and exhale, release the right and the left hand forward, working your way down towards the front end of your mat. Elbows can anchor down, palms can come closer towards your shin bones. Find that comfort. Keep the spine or the tailbone elongated as you drop your shoulders away from your ears and bow that chest down. Take 2 more inhales here. Letting that breath go. 1 more big giant breath in, maybe smiling, letting that breath go. On your next inhale, lift the chest up, walk your hands towards your shin bones, and as you exhale, dome your spine, taking your chin towards your chest, feel the length through the back, and then inhale, lift your chest up, slide your hands towards your thighs, catting it up, and then exhale, doming that spine, fingertips can grip around the shin bones or your knee or below that knee. Inhale, we lift up, we slide those palms towards our thighs, we hug the elbow heads in, and then last round, exhale, doming it back. Inhale, bringing it forward, maybe smiling and lifting your chin up. And then inhale, neutralize that spine. As we neutralize the spine, take your shoulders and just roll them back and forth, gain that little bit of mobility. And then relax and release and switch the direction you have your legs crossed. If you need to wiggle your toes, wiggle those toes to bring that blood flow back to them, or even shake the legs out if that feels good. When you're ready, come back to center. Relax those arms down by your sides, and then inhale, we'll extend and reach our arms up. Palms will kiss, hands will come into prayer. 2 more times. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up. Palms together. Exhale, they release to heart space. Once more. Inhale, lift up, reach up, feel the vitality. Exhale, slowly begin to bring that down. On our next breath in, we'll circle sweep the arms up towards the sky. And as we exhale, twist open towards your right side. 2 different ways to twist. One, if you can extend and reach the right fingertips behind you, go for it. But if you need to go a little gentle today, then bring your arms to a letter T and then exhale, start to turn and then drop down where it feels appropriate. So 2 different ways for you to get into the same position with ease and mindfulness for your body. Take a full breath in regardless of where you're at. Let that breath go. On your next breath in, reach through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, look over your right shoulder as much as you'd like. 1 more big giant breath in here. Let that breath go. On our next inhale, we return back to center. The arms reach up. Decide how you'd like to twist towards that left side. So either letter T, and then exhale, twist, or arms up and exhale, twist. Full belly breath in here. Shoulders away from the ears. Full release as you look over your left shoulder. 2 more inhales here. Letting that breath go. Notice how when you breathe in, your spine lifts up, your back fills up with this prana, our life force. And as you exhale, you can still allow the crown to extend, but release the shoulders away from your ears. We'll return back to center. So based on where you're at, inhale, work the body back towards the front. And as you exhale, begin to release left hand, right hand, bowing that chest down. If you need to wiggle your hips back so that you create some space for your abdomen to rest, go for it. If you need to walk your shin bone forward or release one leg out because you have a really tight hip today, that's also another option. Breathe in through the nose here. Let that breath go. Breathing in through your nose here. Letting that breath go. We'll take one more breath in, maybe lifting up just a tiny bit, and then exhale, bowing it back down. As we take our next inhale, we'll begin to lift and rise up, walking those palms back towards our shin bone, and exhale, we'll dome our spine to cat it back. This time we'll take supti grinds. So once you've cat your spine back, you'll inhale, bring your heart towards that top right corner, circle sweep the heart around to the left. Exhale, stir the body towards the back side of the mat. Coming back towards the top as you inhale. Couple more circles in this direction. You're welcome to find more stationary stability by just allowing maybe the midsection to stir if you don't love dipping the shoulders. In the past, I've had people say to me, I don't love the way this feels. And I always say, find what you do love and go there instead. So if this isn't your jam, go ahead and switch it out. We'll switch directions now. So if this feels good for you, go ahead and take your heart to the top left corner, around to the right, and exhale to the back. Different needs for each individual. You might notice some of the length through the side of the body. You might notice the length through the shoulders. And again, if you don't love these little supti grinds, find a rounded cat-cow instead in that seated position. One more circle around. And then inhale, we rise up nice and tall. As we rise up nice and tall, our hands come into prayer, and at our heart space, we'll close our eyes. Reflect back on your intention that you set for today, or the energy you're sending out into the space. Take a breath in, smile, and then exhale. Release the breath, release the hands, and work your way into tabletop position. So as you come to tabletop position, let your knees stack with the hips, and then begin to wiggle your body from one end of the mat to the other end of the mat. If there's additional movement you're craving, you absolutely can go there. That can be anything from cat-cows, or even that child's pose, or wiggling your wrist, giving them a little bit of mobility and release. Coming back to center, we're letting our big toes kiss, tops of our feet on the mat. Our knees can go out wide, and as we exhale, sink the hips towards the heels, extend or start reaching towards the top of the mat as your palms plant into the earth. If it's accessible to you today, bring that forehead, the space between your eyebrows, down on your mat. If it's not accessible to you today because you're really tight in your low back, your shoulders, or even your neck, then you have the option of making 2 fists, stacking them, bringing those hands closer towards your body so that you can rest your third eye, or the space between the eyebrows, on the stacked hand. If you don't like that motion, this is where a pillow or a block could come in handy. You can place that space right there. If you happen to have a block, or you're stacked, or your forehead is resting on the ground, begin to rock from right side to left side. And if you have a block, you might notice that you're getting into the eyebrows a little bit more. And if it feels all right, that's fine. We're just releasing that little pressure point. Like a child who can self-soothe, so can we. So this is just letting us relax, go further into a place or a state of ease. Pause where you're at. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, the hips fill themselves towards the heels. One more breath here. Sinking the hips, maybe just a very small amount further down towards the heels. And last time, big breath in. Let that breath go. Whether you're on a block, your hands or those arms are extended, we'll begin to inhale, lift the body up. As we lift the body up, work those knees in towards midline, stacking or hip width distance. Lift your right wrist once you find stability and a couple of circles with that right wrist in one direction and then the opposite direction. We'll go ahead and place the back of our hand close to our knee. I like to tuck my toes, but if you prefer flat feet, that's completely fine too. Exhale, you'll send the weight of the body back. Keep a soft bend in that right elbow. Otherwise, it feels like you're hyperextending. And then bringing your fingers towards your thumb, or maybe just tracing a few circles with your thumb in each direction to release that forearm. Take a breath in here. Let that breath go. On your next breath in, slide forward, release that right hand, a couple of circles back and forth. And now we'll go ahead and take our palm, placing it on the mat, but spin your hand so that your fingers point towards your kneecap and your thumb out towards that right edge. Toes tucked or not. Exhale, work the hips back. A soft bend in the knees, a soft bend in the elbow. Take a few inhales here. Take one more inhale here. Let that breath go, then slide the weight of the body forward. Give that right wrist a little bit of love, circles, or make a fist and then a star with your hand. Place that right palm down, lift that left one now. A few circles here, back of the hand close to the knee. Send the hips back as you exhale. Fingers towards the thumb, or thumb can wiggle, soft bend at the elbow. If you've gone too far back, slide your hips forward. You've got just one more inhale here and an exhale here. Begin to slide forward as you inhale, release that left wrist, circles with it, and then the back of the hand spins around as you place the palm down onto the mat. Exhale, work your body back towards the heels once more, a soft bend at the elbow. Stay gentle on those knees. If you need a cushion or a blanket for your knees, know that you can absolutely grab that. Take one last breath in, letting that breath go. On your inhale, slide the weight of the body forward, release the wrist, give it a little bit of love. Place the palm down, tuck your toes under, pull the shoulders away from the ears, draw your navel towards the spine. Our first cow pose. So inhale, drop the belly down, retracting the shoulders, lifting the chin up, all in that one breath. And then yes, exhale, dome your spine, catted back, chin to the chest. Inhale, cow pose, elbows bend, belly down, heart up. Exhale, feet press into the mat. We dome our spine up. One more round. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat it back. Elongate that breath as much as you can. And then inhale, neutralize. As we neutralize, bring those knees together, tuck your right toes under, and inhale, extend that left leg behind you. Press both palms firmly into the mat without hyperextending your elbows. Draw a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to take this left knee and tap that left elbow. Inhale, take it long. Exhale, tap that left elbow. Inhale, take it long. Exhale, tap that left elbow. Inhale, extend long. And as you exhale, this time you're crossing this left foot over towards the right side, looking over your right shoulder. Let your breath go and squeeze those thighs nice and tight. Take a full inhale here. Let that breath go. Shoulders relax away from the ears. One more inhale here. Let that breath go. If you have your right toes tucked, soft right toes, work your way as you begin to straighten your head towards the top of your mat. Bending this left knee behind your right, walk to the middle of the mat. Your blades of your feet can go out to the right and to the left edge of the mat, and we'll slowly begin to send the hips back, lifting the kneecap off of the mat. Keep those arms extended forward. Maybe walk your hands a little closer towards you. You'll find that you're releasing your glutes now. If you need a block or two blocks, you're welcome to rest your elbows on the block and bring your head down, or you're welcome to take the tall side of your block, your hands frame the block, and then you'll rest your forehead on this instead. If your hips dropped all the way down, that might feel wonderful for you, and you're definitely in the right spot then. Otherwise, keep your hips lifted and keep that right knee up. One more breath here. Letting that breath go. Another breath here. And we'll let that breath go. Regardless of where you're at, begin to lift and rise up, walking your hands forward, releasing that right knee down, stepping that left foot behind us, sending that right foot over towards the right edge, aligning your body. And then inhale, extend and lift that left arm up towards the sky. As you extend and lift that left arm up towards the sky, either look up to the thumb or down towards your right hand instead. Full belly breath in here, full belly breath out. As you exhale, I want you to bring your left hand to your hip, bend your right elbow slightly, and then inhale, start to lift and rise up into that gate pose as we reach both arms up. As we reach both arms up, bring both hands to your hips now. Align this right hip to the left hip and press to the pinky side blade of your left foot. Only when you're ready, inhale, arms reach up. Only when you're ready, exhale, release that left hand towards your left leg and extend the right fingertips over. If you've collapsed your shoulder on this right side, just lift your body up. Instead of trying to side bend deeply, lift the body up and feel the length happen all on its own without the force. Take a full breath in here. Let that breath go. One more inhale. And you let that breath go. On your next breath in, bring both arms back up towards the sky. And as we exhale, the hands will release down. As the hands release down, fold your heart forward, walk your hands to the top, untuck the right toes, maybe slide that left foot out a little further. Begin to sink your hips back, resting your chest as low as you can. This is where that block comes in handy once more. Resting the elbows on the block, resting your forehead on the block, wrapping your arms around the block. If you're hyperextending the knee, then maybe for you, you need to point the toes over towards that left side instead. If you don't need the block, that's fine. Or if you prefer to lift your chest up, we're opening up. You can take your left hand and massage that inner thigh. We have that tendon and you'll feel it. It might feel like a bumpy, sandy road in your body and may feel very smooth in yours. We're all a little different. So if you need to release that and let this left hip know that it's okay to let go, that you're here protecting it, you're giving it its love. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. On your next inhale, bring those palms back down, lift the body up. As we lift that body up, we'll begin to slide this foot a little bit closer towards midline. As that foot comes a little closer towards midline, we'll tuck the right toes under, walk our body back up, and inhale into that side, lifting up of side of gate pose. Take a breath in. And as we exhale, bring that left hand to your hip, release and lower your right hand down. And now if you'd like, lift and float that right leg off the earth, left leg off the earth. If you want to curl the heel in towards the body, curl it in. Otherwise, stay right here. If you want to bind, reach back, grab that ankle. Otherwise, stay here. One more breath in. And then if you're bound, release. We'll all drop the blade of the foot down, drop the hand down, rotate those hips back around. All in our time, lift that left knee in a few circles with that left knee in one direction and the opposite, and then work that knee back down. Wiggle the hips side to side, and if you need to lift that right leg up for any reason, lift it. Come back to tabletop position, 3 rounds of cat-cows. So inhale, belly down, heart up. Exhale, dome that spine to cat it up. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat it up. One more inhale, cow pose. And exhale, we'll cat it back up. On our next inhale, we'll neutralize the body. And as we neutralize our body, this time we're tucking the left toes under. Inhale, taking that right leg behind us. If your toes are pointed, see if you can flex them. And as you flex these toes, if your right hip is lifted up, drop that right hip down, pull that left femur into the hip socket. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale 3 times, tap that right knee towards that right elbow. Tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, long leg. Exhale, tighten it up. Inhale, long leg. Exhale, tighten it up. And then inhale, extending long. Step your right foot over towards that left side. Squeeze those thighs. Exhale, looking over your left shoulder, drawing that breath in. Squeezing the thighs a little more. Let that breath go. Sending this right hip over towards the right side of the room. Last inhale here. And exhale here. On your next inhale, keep your leg where it's at, but look towards the short end of your mat or the front of your mat. Bend your right knee behind the left one. Work your knees to the middle of the mat. Blades either come out or they stay where they're at. But when you're ready, exhale, begin to lift that left knee, sending your hips back, bowing your chest onto your thigh. Breathe in through the nose here. Release the glute. Feel that tenderness releasing as you breathe in and out into that space. You have the ability to stack the fists. You have the ability to release your chin to your knee or rest your forehead on your block or your pillows. You're here. 2 more inhales. Letting that breath go. 1 last breath in. And you let that breath go. On your next breath in, if you have anything in front of you, remove that. Palms come down. Returning that left knee down to the ground. Go ahead and slowly begin to release and extend your right foot back. Hook the left foot over towards the left edge of the mat. Align the left shoulder with that left hand. And inhale, extend and reach up towards the ceiling with your right arm. Pull the shoulders back. Press through the pinky side blade of your right leg. Look anywhere from the ground up towards the ceiling. A big giant breath in, a big giant breath out. On this next inhale, reach through your fingertips, and as you exhale, bring that right hand to your hip. Look down towards your left thumb, bend that left elbow so that you have the longevity to press and inhale. We lift all the way up into that gate pose. Full breath here. On that exhale, release the hands to the hips, align your body, find that position that feels good for you. All on your time, inhale, arms up, and then exhale, side bend towards that right side. If you drop the shoulder, rotate that shoulder, bringing your right hand maybe a little closer towards the thigh instead of reaching towards your ankle. 1 more inhale here, and an exhale here. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, we bring our hands to our hips. As we bring our hands to our hips, shoulders roll down. Begin to release right hand, left hand, taking that child's pose with that extended leg. So it's modified. Your arms go forward, your body drops down, you're pressing through the blade of your right foot, releasing your head down to the mat or letting those elbows rest if this is where you're at today. If you massage that inner thigh, then go ahead and try it on that opposite side. See what's going on with that tendon and the muscles in the inner thighs. Take a full breath in. Let that breath go. 1 more big breath in, and we'll let that breath go. Palms down to the ground. Inhale, begin to lift your chest up, walking those hands towards your body. As you walk those hands towards your body, inhale, we reach and rise all the way up. As we exhale, head to the elbows pull down, the heart shines. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, bringing your right hand to your right hip. Exhale, side plank. When you're ready, lift and float. As you lift and float this left leg, then you can extend and float that right arm up towards the sky. If you want to curl the heel in towards the body, you can. If you prefer not to, just stay right here. You're here only 1 more inhale and that exhale. If you're bound on that inhale, release. And as you exhale, we all release our foot down, returning the body into that squared position. Slowly begin to lift and maybe trace those big giant circles with your right knee in one direction and the opposite. And then the left if it needs it as well. And then work your way back into tabletop. As we find tabletop, we'll tuck our toes under, send the hips back. Feel yourself gain that stability, palms plant down, arms are straight. Now inhale, lift the knees and exhale. Send the hips up, tilt them up into that inverted V or downward facing dog. Begin to march or paddle your feet out left and right. Full inhale here. Full exhale as you march back and forth. Elongation of our hamstrings, elongation or relief of the calf muscles and even our feet. Notice the texture of your mat. Notice the temperature in your own body, in your room. And then go ahead and let all those things go and find stillness in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let your head get heavy as you exhale. Retract the shoulders away from your ears. 1 more breath here. Let that breath go. On your next inhale, lift your heels up, bending your knees. Either walking your hands towards your feet or walking your feet towards your hands. Either one is fine. It's whatever feels good for you. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale, we bow back down. Separate your feet hip width distance apart, or maybe even greater today. And then grab those elbows. As you grab those elbows, drop your head down like your head is a big giant melon resting in a basket so that you're able to dangle and rock side to side. If you feel like you've tilted your chin and you're looking forward, do your very best today to see if you can just let the crown point down towards the mat instead. If stillness is your preference, stillness is acceptable and as wonderful as movement. Come back to center. Release those hands back down towards the mat. Heel toe your feet all the way back towards one another. And on our inhale, begin to lift and rise all the way up. If you have any shoulder tenderness, then don't extend your arms out to the sides. Instead, bring your hands into prayer. Otherwise, palms up, and then exhale, hands come into prayer and at our heart space. Draw a breath in, pull your shoulders up. Exhale, roll those shoulders down. Same thing if your shoulders are tight, maybe just leave them in prayer. Otherwise, inhale, circle sweep those arms up. If you're at the back of the mat, walk to the top of your mat. Exhale, pull the heads of your elbows down, sending your body open. Inhale, our arms reach up. Exhale, we'll forward fold, releasing our fingertips down. We're taking our left foot, stepping it back into warrior one. So it's a 35 to 45 degree angle. Make sure your stance isn't too large. Otherwise, you don't feel stable when you rise up. Keep the fingertips down on the mat or even on your blocks. Stabilize through your big toe, your little toe, and your heel point. Press through the pinky side blade of your left foot, and only when it feels right, inhale, begin to lift and rise up. And it may be steps. It could be hand on the thigh, and then heart lifts up, and then inhale, the arms reach up. Once those arms reach up, bend that front right knee. Press and extend through this back left leg. Feel energetic, feel alive here. Draw a breath in. And as you exhale, your elbows are going to pull to the side like goalpost arms. And then inhale, we'll extend and reach our arms back up. And we'll exhale, release our hands down. Grab your elbows if you'd like, or interlace your hands if you prefer, either one or another variation. Shoulders pull back, crown reaches forward. Our ribs come together. So imagine you're zipping your body up, and that gives you stability. Draw a breath in here. And as you exhale, begin to bow down. Keep your right shoulder and your left shoulder in line. So a lot of times people drop the right shoulder really far down and open this left one. Today, think of balance. Think of bowing down equally. Wherever you're at though, drop your head like it's a beautiful diamond or your favorite stone, and let it dangle so that you can see the arch of your left foot. From the arch of your left foot, trace the inseam of your left pant leg or shorts until you connect the right and the left. If you get wiggly, it's no big deal. Release your hands and let your fingertips anchor you instead. Take one more breath here. Let that breath go. One last breath in, and then releasing the hands down to the ground. On or off those blocks. As you inhale, lift up halfway. Begin to straighten this right leg, sending the right hip back, rotating that left hip forward. This may be where you're at, and that's enough. If you need a little bit more, exhale, bow your chest down. As you bow your chest down, you haven't dropped your head down to the thigh or to the shin bone. You've actually reached through the crown of the head to the top of your mat or maybe to your toes. Take one more breath here. Let that breath go. Take one last breath here. And let that breath go. On your next inhale, rising up halfway, bend that front right knee. You're going to travel to the left edge of your mat. So you may not be facing me, and that's okay. Guide yourself, listen to yourself, be intuitive. You know what to do. As all 10 toes spin over towards the left edge of the mat, you'll exhale into a wide-legged forward fold, a soft bend of those knees. And if you feel like you want to turn yourself around so that you can see the screen, by all means, please do so. Take one more inhale here. Let that breath go. On your next breath in, your fingertips anchor into the mat. You're lifting up halfway. Spin those heels in, and as we spin those heels in, drop your bum low, and then inhale, we'll rise all the way up into goddess pose. So those knees are bent at a 90-ish degree angle based on your hips and based on the inner thighs. We already released them some, and then the arms are at goalpost arms. I like to wiggle, so if you want to wiggle so that you can settle into the space and then settle into the heels, that's perfectly fine. Take a full breath in here. Let that breath go. Take another giant breath here. Let that breath go. On our next inhale, straight legs, arms extend, star pose. From our star pose, breathe in. Let go. If you need a little challenge, lift your heels. If you get wobbly, no big deal. Take another breath here, and then we'll exhale, lower the heels down. Arms come parallel to the earth. As the arms come parallel to the earth, pivot your left blade and spin your right toes forward. Triangle pose. From our triangle pose, back hand down, flip that palm. Inhale, reverse triangle first. As you reverse that triangle, you're finding that side body elongation. One more inhale, and then exhale, arms come parallel. You're still in this first prep of triangle. Now reach your fingertips forward, spin or open your chest up. Even if you need to adjust with your own fingertips, open that chest up, and then tick-tock or windmill your hands to 6 and 12. If this is too deep, bring that right hand to your hip. Pull that left shoulder away from your ear. If you're pressing into the knee, soft bend of that knee. One more breath here. Let that breath go. On our next inhale, we'll bend this right knee, travel or trace your hands to the back of the room. And then exhale, we'll travel and cartwheel our hands down, popping that left heel off the earth. As you pop your left heel off the earth, walk your hands a foot forward, take that big giant step with your left foot meeting the right one at the top of the mat, and exhale for forward fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway, a flat back. Exhale, rolling it all the way back down. Inhale, reverse and rise. Sweep those arms to the sides, up to the sky. Big toes together, and as we exhale, we'll take chair pose. If you have tight shoulders, bring those palms immediately into prayer and at your heart space. Shift the weight of the body back, lift and float those toes off the ground, and then release the toes softly so they're not gripping, but they're definitely just gentle. One more breath here. Let that breath go. Inhale, we rise all the way nice and tall. Exhale, we pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, we extend and reach our arms up, and exhale, when you're ready, dive or fold forward, releasing your fingertips down to the mat. Bend the knees generously. Take your right foot, step it back into that warrior one position. As you step back into that warrior one, align the body. You have all the time to connect the pieces by shortening the stance, by anchoring into the big toe, little toe, bringing one palm, left one to that left thigh, and then inhale. When you are stable, you rise up. Bend the knees, straighten the leg if you need to first, rotate the hips. The main thing we're looking for here that I always like to say to people is keeping your heart in your car lane. So if your hip is open, that's fine. If you can keep your heart in your car lane until you have that mobility, do what feels right. So don't force this hip to rotate forward. We don't all have that rotation. I, for one, certainly do not, and I'm okay with it. I had to grow and learn to be okay with it, though. Take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down to cactus arms. And then inhale, we'll reach our arms back up. We're strong through our right leg. Let those hands release to the sides. Interlace or grab those elbows. See if you can do it the opposite way. We're so dominant on one side, so see if you can switch it out. I'm guilty of it too, so no worries if you're like, oh, why do I do that? We all do. We're creatures of habit. Take a breath in and balance. Drop it down, keeping right and left shoulder in line. Start to droop the head, let it get heavy. As the head gets heavy, you're looking at the arch of your right foot. You're squeezing your thighs together. It's almost like they're magnets trying to come back to one another. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the nose if possible, or take a cleansing breath. Shaky legs, embrace it. One more breath in. Be gentle with yourself though. Let that breath go. On that inhale, we'll release the interlacing or the elbow grabbing. Hands come down to frame our left foot. As we frame that left foot, if you need a little lift, use a block, use a book or a blanket. Rise up halfway. Straightening your left leg. Let one hand rest on the mat. Let both fingertips rest. All on your breath. Exhale, bow down. Remember, if you need a little bit of leverage, you can always lift that back heel up if you need to. That can be your leverage or it can be your anchor. So you have the ability to hinge if necessary. Think of a door opening up and closing. It has the ability to do either and still remain safe, and that's what you want with your body. Take a breath in. Maybe lift up a 1/4 inch and then exhale, bow it back down. Invite that love, that fluidity of movement through the hamstring. Take one last breath in. Let that breath go. On our inhale, we begin to lift up, bending that front left knee. As we bend that front left knee, or releasing our hands to the mat, begin to spider walk your way over towards a forward fold, toes pointing towards that right edge now. Bow it down. Inhale, we lift it up. Exhale, we bow it down. We're going to stay here for a moment. If you'd like to bring your hands to your thighs or your hands behind your back or your hands around the hammies or the calves with a generous bend of the knees, perfectly fine. Take a full breath in here. Let your head dangle and let that breath go. One more inhale here. Let that breath go. If your hands are anywhere on your legs, go ahead and bring the fingertips down to the mat. Heels spin in, bum drops low. Inhale, a goddess pose. As we come into our goddess pose, our shoulders roll down, our belly is engaged for protection of our low spine. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale, we sink it down a little bit lower. Release your hands down to your thighs. Let your thumbs either point to the back and the fingertips in, unless you prefer external rotation. We'll exhale, drop that left shoulder down, look over to our right. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll switch it out. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll sink the hips. And then inhale, we'll rise up into star pose. From your star pose, if you'd like to lift the heels, lift them. And if it's for a split second and then it's a split second down, perfectly fine. If they're up, exhale, release them down. So we release them down, our hands come to our hips. Spin that right blade so it's perpendicular to your mat. Spin the left toes so they're pointing forward. Keep that leg straight, arms come parallel. Draw a breath in. Let that breath go. Back hand down, left hand flips. Inhale, reverse triangle. As we reverse our triangle, exhale, we're prepping for extended triangle. Reach the fingertips forward, pull the shoulders open, keep that back strong, and then tick-tock. And it can be a soft tick-tock. I even like to sometimes bend my elbow and support my head if my head or my neck is really tender. Breath in here. Breath out here. One more. Let it go. On your next inhale, reverse triangle. Bend that front knee now. And then exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands to frame that front foot. As we frame that front foot, pause for a moment. Walk your fingertips until you feel that right leg step forward. As it steps forward, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, reverse and rise all the way up. Drag your spine nice and tall. Arms to the sides, palms kiss. Exhale, hands come into prayer at our heart space. Breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, sigh that breath out, release your arms to your sides. If you have a block or you have something handy, we are going into Malasana. So you'll be at the top of your mat. Go ahead and take that wider stance. As you take that wider stance, begin to bend at your knees and drop your hips down. If you need your little prop, let that prop come down. So your hands can anchor as you slowly begin to release the hips onto your block. The knees collide in. Allow your heels to turn inward. And then lift the chest up. If you don't need a block, don't use that block. Your elbows can be on the inner thighs. You can lift that chest up if you need a little bit more heart opening. If you need to come closer together, that's fine too. You might be right here. There's nothing wrong with that. Mobility in our hips is different for each individual. I always tease about my hips, one being hyperextended versus the other. And I talk about that and tease my family that happened when I had our first baby. So that my spouse hyperextended one leg. Not certain it's true. However, I like to say that. Perhaps you have your own story. Take another breath here. Let that breath go. Close the eyes if you'd like. Let that breath go. Whether you're on that block or not, one more breath in. And we'll let go. The hands can release, the fingertips drop down. Take your time. If it means allowing one hand behind you, one hand in front, you'll begin to lift the hips up, remove anything that's in your way. Exhale for a forward fold. Heel toe your feet back towards one another and lift up halfway. Exhale, bow it down. And then inhale, reverse and rise one final time. Those arms fan out, those palms kiss, and we'll exhale, hands into prayer net or heart space. Regardless of where you're at, inhale, circle sweep your arms up, and then exhale, swan dive or fold the heart forward. Step back with your left foot. Step back with your right foot. Release the knees to the mat. Let your big toes kiss, and exhale. We'll work our way into child's pose. As we come into child's pose, let your head rest comfortably on the mat. Draw that breath in. Let that breath go. If you need to be soft and tender with your shoulders, bend your elbows and maybe stack those palms on top of one another. Or if you want to stretch your triceps, let your palms come together in prayer and your thumb can rest somewhere along your spine. Just make sure you feel comfortable. You're here 2 more inhales. Soft jaw. So if you're clenching the teeth, this tends to be a place where we do that. Relax it. And 1 more breath in. Let it go. Palms press into the earth. Our forehead lifts up off the mat, and we begin to place those palms down to the mat, bringing our knees together. As the knees come together, if you'd like a round of cat-cows, take that round of cat-cows. Otherwise, release your legs to one side, drop your hips to the other, and spin your body around so that now you're on your glutes. As you come onto your glutes, soles of the feet are on the mat. I like to wrap my hands around my hamstrings to help guide myself onto my back. If you prefer just to roll down, then you absolutely are welcome just to roll down. Tuck those knees in towards your chest. As you bring those knees in towards your chest, your hands are going to rest at your kneecaps, and you'll trace a couple of circles in one direction. Maybe you gently pull the hips up a little bit because it feels good on your low spine, or you just allow the motion to release that low back. Switch out that circle direction. So if you were going clockwise, go counterclockwise and vice versa. Work your way back to center. As you work your way back to center, lowering the soles of the feet down. Let the palms rest to your side. We're taking 3 flowing bridges. So you're never going to need to shrug those shoulders underneath more than what you did just now. Palms are down, soles of the feet anchor into the mat. Bend those elbows. Imagine you're holding a box in front of you. And as you breathe in, lift your hips up. Squeeze your glutes here. And as you exhale, lowering the hips down, the palms release down. Bend the elbows. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, release the hips down. Lower those palms. 1 more. Inhale, elbows bend. Palms face each other. Hips lift up, and then exhale, we release the hips down. Let those palms rest to our sides. Heel toe your feet a little further than hip width distance or to the edges of your mat. Your knees kiss, and you'll windshield wiper those legs right side to left side. Work your way back to center. Heel toe the feet back towards one another. And on our next breath in, lift that right leg up towards the sky. Cross that ankle or the thigh over to the left side. Go ahead and lift the sole of your left foot off the mat, and then gently wrap your hands around your right shin bone and ankle, or shin bone and that left side as well. So instead of going into that figure 4, today you're taking that variation of cow face. We did it partially when we first began, and now we're taking it on our back so that we can release that low spine and still continue to let go of the glutes. If you prefer to slide your hands out towards the ankles and bring the knees in closer, or the heels to the glutes, you can go there as well. We're getting all in that area of our hip, glutes. Shoulders are relaxed on the mat. Breath is in fluidly. And the breath can be side out. If at any point you feel like your breath is choppy or you're restricting it, take a cleansing breath in, or even inhale through your mouth. And then you can sigh it out. You're here just 2 more inhales. One more inhale. Letting go of whatever portion of your legs you're holding on to. Take your hands to your hamstrings, releasing that right leg up, extending that left leg to meet the right leg. So now we have our hip points drop down. Take a breath in here. Let that breath go. If you're able to release your palms to the sides, either down or up, you're welcome to go there. If you prefer to bend those knees, bend them at a 90-degree angle, flex your feet. If you want to measure out hip width distance, take one of your hands, make a fist, place it in between those knees and maybe squeeze right there. That can be where you're at. That might be enough for you. But regardless, the tailbone is dropping down. You're feeling that release to the low spine. One more inhale, whether legs are extended or the knees are bent, and that exhale. Slowly begin to bend and release that right leg down. Left leg goes up, left leg crosses over. Take a breath in, lift the sole of your foot, pull those knees in towards your chest. Begin by wrapping one hand around this left knee. Second hand can stack on it, or that second hand can go to the right leg. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out of the nose if you'd like, or exhale that breath. Sometimes we just need to cleanse the breath. Good sigh, allowing our chi to flow, the stagnation from the liver. That's one of the things, if you sigh a lot, removes or helps stagnation from the liver. So let it go. You're here just another 2 inhales. One more big breath in. And we let that breath go. So we take our next inhale, begin to release, extending that left leg up, extending that right leg up. If you'd like, and you have something accessible to you available, whether it's immediately or not, you can take an elevated waterfall. If it's a pillow, if it's a blanket, if it's a block, you'll let the soles of the feet rest on the mat, lift your hips up, slide whatever it may be to support your sacrum. As you support the sacrum, make sure your back isn't hyperextended, or that you're not squeezing your chin to your chest, and that you have the ability to support the lower half of your body. Start by first pulling one knee up and then maybe the second. This may be it, or this may be it. So you have that same option, but with your hips already tilted up. Arms can be out to the sides, hands can rest at the thighs. Maybe the hands are at the abdomen. Whatever you decide on, you're here 3 more inhales. One last breath in. Letting that breath go. Slowly curl those heels in towards your body. Release right foot, left foot. If you're on your block, lift the hips up. Slide whatever is underneath you to release your low back down. Knees kiss, hands anywhere. Decompress that low spine by swiping your legs from one end to the opposite end. Coming back to center, heel toe your feet back towards one another. Exhale, pull that right knee into your chest. Breathe in through the nose here, get comfortable, and then exhale, pull that left knee into your chest. Legs at a 90-degree angle, arms cactus or T out, supine twist, breath in, and then exhale, release. If you find that your knees are off the ground, I encourage you to take your blanket or a pillow and let yourself support the right side of your body on something so that you can really get that extension. Even if you don't extend your arm all the way over, and even if this left shoulder doesn't anchor to the mat, it's fine as long as you have that support for these legs. Look anywhere you'd like. Breath in and breath out. Another full belly breath in. And that breath out. Inhale, work your way back to center. Bring your item with you if necessary, or maybe this side you don't need it. Exhale, drop the knees over towards the left side. Relaxing that right shoulder down to the best of your abilities on that right side. And then the head droops over if you'd like. Return to your intention. Where have you guided the love, the light, and your energy? One more breath here. Letting that breath go. Inhale. Look towards the ceiling to neutralize your spine. Bring those knees back in. Taking your arms, wrap them around your body. Lift your head if you'd like. Hands anywhere. Give yourself a big, giant squeeze. Activate every fiber, every muscle. And then as you exhale, lower your head. Release those legs. Extend them to the corners of the mat. Finding our final resting place of Shavasana. Let your hands rest on the abdomen or to the sides. Take a full belly breath in. Cleansing breath in. Cleansing breath, sigh it out. Maybe once more, taking the tongue, licking the lips, pressing them to each other, and then letting them separate naturally. Unclench the jaw. Relax the eyeballs. Curling the fingers naturally. Letting the toes fall open all on their own. Enjoy these next moments in our final resting place of Shavasana. Allowing our bodies, our minds, and our spirit for rest, rejuvenation, and relaxation. The mind wanders. Acknowledge that, but bring yourself back to the present moment. Bringing awareness to your space, to your physical presence. Begin by taking that full breath in through your nose. Letting that breath go. Invite movement back into your body as you wiggle your fingers, your toes, wrists, ankles. Head moves from right side of the room to left side of the room. Finding stillness, inhale, take that big good morning stretch if you'd like. And as you exhale, curl it all back in. Roll over towards your right side, guiding yourself into a comfortable seated position, facing anywhere towards the front of the room. As you rise up, the hands come into prayer and at our heart space. Breathing in through our nose. As we exhale, we bow to each other and to the journey we've shared this morning. The divine in me salutes and honors and recognizes the divine love and light in each of you. Thank you for sharing a part of your day with me and most of all with one another. It's been an honor. From my heart to yours, namaste.